Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to our debut episode here at Carolina Wrestling Podcast. My name is that guy, Trey Morgan, and my co-host here.
Hey, I'm Chance Jenkins. Stoked to be here. Excited. Inaugural episode, getting things going.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm excited. This is going to be a new format,
Yeah, it's going to be a great show here. So what we're all about is we're based out of Fayetteville, North Carolina here, and we're going to talk about the professional wrestling that you see on TV. We're going to talk about the local stuff that you see, the indie feds here. We're going to talk to local wrestlers here in North Carolina as well.
Yeah, and with that, we'd also like to welcome our first guest of the podcast, and that is Johnny Badger into the studio. So, how's it going, man?
Oh, thank you so much for having me. It's an honor to be on your first episode. Thank you for dressing up. I can see you're still under construction. Very classy operation, but it's good to be here nonetheless.
Yeah, man, putting that into perspective, I probably should have dressed a little nicer, because Trey's going to blow me out of the water, man. I mean, he's got, all these different vests and stuff, so I didn't know how.
He's a very sharp-dressed man. I do appreciate your style.
Thank you very much.
I was just having to go. It's been a long night. I'm sorry.
That's okay. I can respect that.
I never apologize, but I'll make it.
I appreciate that.
A lot of firsts here in this episode already.
Yeah,
that's pretty big.
First time Johnny Badger's apologized already. So.
Yeah, we're going to make a T-shirt out of it.
Oh, wow. That could be like our first merch. It's like Johnny Badger apologized, that could be something.
I love it. So let's go ahead and get into the podcast here. Let's talk about what has wrestling got you talking this week, because there's a lot of stuff that we got going on in the world of WWE, and I just want to talk about the recent thing that's happened on Monday night. We had the brand new debut of one of my favorites luchadors of all time. Penta has now joined WWE.
That debut was nuts in my opinion. He came out and he absolutely tore the house down. People were like, he's so over already too. It went completely perfect. I was smiling that entire time. I'm not gonna lie.
It certainly checked all the boxes for what you want in a debut. I mean, everybody knows who Penta is, but now that he's under the WWE umbrella, they're on Netflix. They got the money, they got the production, the presentation. I wouldn't change it in any other way. The words that he had with the crowd was into it. San Jose is a great city for wrestling. Penta's a talent for sure. It was good to see him. And it was, Chad Gable.
Phenomenal
athlete. It was a fantastic match. What a way to start,
And having Chad Gable there in the ring with Penta, it's like you couldn't have got a better opponent for him to make his debut.
Chad Gable's been fantastic for a very long time.
Yeah, dude, I couldn't have been more happy with that. And then, I feel like he has a million different feuds that he could be doing right now and all these different things he could launch into. But, it's really just an exciting time for wrestling in general. You got WWE with the Netflix deal, up in the production and stuff. We're over here, Carolina Wrestling Podcast, trying to up this production, make a little more squeeze out of it. So how you feeling just about the fact that we have this new setup? I mean, I guess we haven't really addressed the new digs and everything.
New spot. We're under construction. We were time to talk with that guy Trey Morgan previously back in 2024, and with things rebranding, WWE's then made a change. They've on Netflix now, which is a huge thing for the wrestling world. Next Level Pro Wrestling, they're stepping up their game as well. So I felt like we needed to do the job and step up our game with the brand new podcast and rebrand it. So that's why I came up with the Carolina Wrestling Podcast, So we're not just going to talk about people here in North Carolina. We can discuss the people in South Carolina, people that's coming through, who's been here, who wants to come through here, So the opportunities are endless.
Yeah, I mean, how you feel about the new setup, Johnny? I mean, I know it's humble.
As I said, it's an honor to be here. Mr. Morgan, I've been a fan of yours for a very long time. You're a fantastic ring announcer, you're a fantastic host. I'm usually not, very giving with compliments. That's just me. But it's an honor to be here. congrats on you guys picking a fantastic guest. I mean, so far so good.
What better way?
I mean, this is absolutely
What
true.
are we talking about? You know,
And just to talk about that for a little, I mean, you had a busy year last year. I mean, you basically won Comic-Con. I mean, which was pretty crazy. I mean, how'd you feel like going into that? I mean, that was pretty dominant performance in the Battle Royal there.
undefeated in battle royals. That's as I said, if you want to manage greatness, you yourself have to be great. And it was my goal to really make my mark on Fayetteville Comic Con that day. Battle Royal is a very dangerous situation. Every man and woman for themselves, and for me to come out the victor, I think it surprised a lot of people. Didn't surprise me at all. But at the end of the day, I felt it. It's a tough business, and I went in with the sole purpose of really staking my claim as one of the greatest managers in professional wrestling.
That's moving to me personally. I don't know how you feel about
I
that.
see your eyes tearing.
I knew, yeah.
I can tell.
Like you could look at possible title implications in the future. I mean, with that, you tossed them all out. I mean, what can you say?
Well, I know my role. I think I'm actually better at ringside as help as opposed to an in-ring competitor. But, if the time comes, I'll be ready. But yeah, I'm just glad to be here to inspire you guys.
That leaves me feeling inspired, Trey. I don't know how I'm going to take it from there.
Yeah, you sit here and talk about that you like to be the help on the outside. So let's talk about one of the people that you actually manage and that you do take care of on the outside of the ring. Let's talk about championship caliber CC Young.
Yeah, she's fantastic, isn't she?
She's great.
I mean, you guys always have the best seat in the house. Beauty, talent, intellect. I mean, championship caliber on every level. As long as you make sure that we have a good shoe budget and she has a pink drink in her hand, she's ready for competition at all times. I mean, she's traveling the world, and while I can't be with her everywhere, I'm always with her in spirit. And I think at the end of the day, I think CC Young. I'm sorry.
Always getting choked about his talent.
She's
Wow. Yeah.
she's an inspiration. Oh man, sorry.
Oh,
Get it together, Badge.
Yeah.
Sorry, I get a little choked up. I'm an emotional guy.
I mean, we're just happy to kind of really unpack you here, on this first episode.
I'm an open book.
And for that, we appreciate it, and we can just respect that. And I think when you look at some of the other people you manage, I just wonder what some of the roles as a manager, because I think it's kind of an unsung hero job in a lot of ways. Like, I mean, obviously you accompany them to the ring, and you are present during the match. But I mean, outside of that, what do you think really is the biggest thing when it comes to like supporting your talent?
Well, you got to be sure that they're eating right. You got to be sure that they're training. You got to be sure that they're happy. That's really my sole role. Just to make sure any client that I have is happy. And at the end of the day, make sure that they win. What a lot of people call, dirty tactics, I call getting the job done. What a lot of people call cheating, I call it seizing opportunity. My thing is I do what I say I'm going to do. I do not lie. I tell you to your face what I'm going to do. I will never stab you in the back. I will stab you in the chest, and I will look you in the eye. I say and I mean everything that I do. No surprises here.
So let's go back a little bit on how you got into the wrestling business. So I know, like myself, I used to watch wrestling when I was a little kid, and you had all your managers, like your Bobby the Brain Heenans, Mouth to South Jimmy Harts, guys like that. What made you come into the wrestling business and want to be a manager?
Well, I started as a commentator with Alternative Combat Wrestling. I was a commentator for about a year and a half, and I was doing live commentary, and they switched it up, and I decided that I was going to go ahead and be a manager, and I was lucky to work with a lot of talented individuals, and I would say about 2 years ago, I was lucky enough to come into Next Level. where I met CC. And I don't know, I'm really embracing my role as a manager. I certainly look at it as an art form. I grew up watching Jim Cornette, Bobby Heenan. I'm not trying to date myself in any way, but currently, I don't think there's anyone better than Paul Heyman. I don't think anyone would disagree with me on that.
Yeah,
but
Agreed.
There's a role for managers. There's a place and a time for managers. And I'm not saying it's a lost art or anything like that, but for my first day as a manager, I wanted to embrace it and learn as much as I could. And it led me to 2-6. I've been very fortunate to work under a lot of good minds. Hang Time Tony James kind of brought me into the fold, and I'm grateful for that. And while we don't see eye to eye on a lot of things, and I'm probably a thorn in his side, somehow I still have a job here. So I'm just going to do that to the best of my ability and make sure CC Young can advance and, achieve everything she wants to achieve here.
Let's talk about your entrance. Go ahead, hate me. That kind of sums up a lot about your mantra. How do you feel that approach to this business has treated you so far?
Well, I like to set a tone. Go ahead, hate me. I think that certain things that I do, certain ways I behave, might be considered abrasive by some people. I'm goal oriented. I see the end of the tunnel, and you're going to rub people the wrong way sometimes. That's just the nature of the business. It's the wrestling business, not the friendship business. It's cliche by now, but it's true nonetheless. But yeah, go ahead and hate me. It gives people license. It puts them at ease. I'm not trying to get you to love me. I could care less if you love me. I'm a bunch of filthy hillbillies. Just buy a T-shirt. I'll sign whatever you want. Let's be cool. But at the end of the day, look at me. I'm devastatingly handsome. I'm charismatic. I have a lot of money. I'm easy to hate if, you're not any of those things. So I get it. It's fine. I don't take it personal. I'm serving a purpose. And as long as you're buying a ticket, you can boo me. You can cheer me. Have some popcorn, stuff some pizza in your fat, unremarkable face, and let's have fun,
Yeah, man. I can respect that for a myriad of reasons. But when you look at it, how do you feel just navigating some of these things, considering certain things are abrasive? It seems like there's certainly been a few times where maybe there's been a bit of comeuppance for you in the past, maybe been a few times where it hasn't exactly gone your way. How do you think necessarily you've gone with navigating that with both yourself and the talent you represent?
Well, you have to break a few eggs to make an omelet, don't you? I knew what I was getting into. There's no surprise. It's a violent sport. And I knew occasionally I might run my mouth and someone might disagree and I might have to pay the price. But I'm willing to do it as long as my client can, achieve all they want to achieve. That's why I get paid what I do. I'm trying to lead the way. I'm not trying to be an angel on anybody's shoulder. A lot of talent just needs that person to say, you deserve more. You deserve better. A lot of people talk themselves out of a lot of things when they don't want to offend, or they, sometimes you're excited about the, high-fiving the kids, and, I guess the cheers can be intoxicating sometimes, but at the end of the day, it's about glory. It's about money. It's about success. It's the finer things: jet plane, runways, statues, fame. We could go on and on. I want my client to be successful. And if I have to get punched in the face sometimes, so be it. I have good doctors. Look at me.
Yeah, absolutely. If you had a dream client that you could represent just as a manager, if there's just a wrestler just from history, just reaching into anywhere in time, is there one that you think that you genuinely would benefit the most from your services?
That is a phenomenal question. Wow. You know, I would love to have been in J.J. Dillon's role in the Four Horsemen.
Wow.
You know, I'm a private jet guy. I like wearing furs. I like hanging out with beautiful women. Hey, you know, JJ did a fantastic job. He's a legend. But if we're fantasy booking, I guess I would like to be in the Four Horsemen. Coming out with Andre at WrestleMania 3 in the Bobby Heenan role, just to be in front of 97,000 people, that kind of stuff is what made me a fan to begin with. I cherish those memories, and I'm also excited about being able to make memories for new fans. It's a privilege to be in this business, and whatever role I play, whatever I can do, I want the crowd to get their money's worth. If I'm there, I want to be part of the tide that raises all ships. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I can definitely understand that.
So let's talk about 2-6, because you brought that up just a little bit ago. Next Level Pro Wrestling 2-6. What is it about the training academy that they have there here in Fayetteville, North Carolina? What makes it different than other schools that you've been to?
Well, to be honest, this is the only school I've been to, but I fell in love with it on my first day. The camaraderie is a big thing for me. We cheer each other on, and speaking for myself, I was terrified to do a lot of this stuff. I'm blessed in that professional wrestling found me when it did, and I remember the first night I came through the curtains as a manager. I'm not gonna lie, I was nervous. You know, my knees were shaking, my heart was racing, and I just had never seen myself in this position before. But just that feeling, the nerves and the adrenaline and everything, I was hooked. And I came here on my first day and immediately fell in love with the environment. And I think everyone has a certain amount of fear. It's not an easy thing to do, but I knew that in order to be the best manager I could be and understand my role, I had to learn basic in-ring things. So I'm not a danger to myself or those around me. But it's a great group of people. From top to bottom, it's a fantastic place to be. And again, not easy for me to compliment people, but here we are.
What's a short-term goal you have for 2025 specifically in the world of North Carolina professional wrestling?
Well, that's an interesting question. My goal this year is on a personal level, I want to be as good as I can be. I want to, whatever company I might work for, I want them to understand that they're getting one of the best managers around. And my belief in myself and what I think I bring to the table, I think that I'm going to sell as many tickets as I possibly can. As I said, whether you cheer me or boo me is completely irrelevant. I want you to come inside the doors. I want you to grab a seat, have a good time. Let's go on a ride. You know, on January 25th, Next Level presents Drops. The first show of the new year, and we're gonna hit the ground running with it from top to bottom. It's an experience. It's family friendly, which I can clean up my language. I'm doing pretty good right now, right?
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Look at me,
Yeah.
evolving as a human. It never ends. But, you know, when we come in to 71st High School on January 25th, we're storming the gates as a collective group. We're ready to entertain a building full of people. And Mother Nature didn't cooperate this is a little bit of a reschedule, but the crowd's ready. We're ready. It's going to be a fantastic show. And It's going to look like a spaceship landed inside of a gymnasium. And that's whenever I try to sell Next Level to people, whenever I'm selling a ticket or handing out a flyer, it's a show unlike any other. From the sound, the lights, the sights, the action, the performers, it's really a one of a kind experience. And you get Johnny Badger.
And yeah, and I mean that's worth the price of admission alone, right?
I should charge double, actually.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so we got 71st High School, like you said, and January 25th.
Yeah.
Bell time 7:15. The doors are going to open at 6:30. I believe the doors are open there.
6:15
Come
somewhere.
on, come on.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
that's going to be a fun time. Like you said, it was rescheduled. It was originally going to be January the 9th. But we had a little snow here, and we'll talk a little bit of snow. We didn't have really much anything here, but
Yeah, we had a
You guys don't really do snow in North Carolina, do you?
we don't.
Yeah.
I think it's because a bunch of filthy hillbillies don't know how to drive their oversized trucks. It's crazy, right? Like 1 inch of snow and everything shuts down. At least we all have bread and milk, I guess, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing you guys do in North Carolina.
Milk sandwiches. Yeah, milk sandwiches.
Yeah, you gotta make as much French toast as possible if you get snowed in for whatever particular reason.
That's terrific. I love it.
Yeah, be that as it may, unfortunately, yeah, reschedule the show. So whoever spilled a cup of ice on the ground can be the one to blame. That all said, what was your reaction when we did have to reschedule, and how do you feel like it's gonna let you reframe going into the 25th?
Well, I'm kind of laser focused on just taking 2025 by Mother Nature, Father Time, neither one really has much of an effect on me. I'm ready to kill it every time I come out of those curtains. And I know CeCe Young. I know damn well she's ready to do the curtains, so it doesn't really matter what day you do it on. We're going to be great either way, Oh, I'm getting choked up again. Sorry.
Every time you talk,
She's
about
amazing, though, right?
Yeah, wow. Sorry, there's really a lot of layers to this that we're peeling back with Johnny Badger here.
She's a hero. She's my hero.
Yeah, I just didn't realize it was like such an emotional object. But so how did you and CeCe initially get paired in the first place? What was that like conversation like, or how that all worked?
Well, oddly enough, I heard her sing before I saw her wrestle. She had the voice of an angel. It was incredible, and I was going to manage her music career. The first time I heard her sing, I was blown away. And
Well, what was it?
what was it?
Yeah.
Oh, it was.
What did you hear her sing?
It was what's the Carrie Underwood song? Before he cheats or whatever.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, she killed it. Way better than Carrie Underwood could have. But when I found out that she was a wrestler, that blew my mind. Such a beautiful voice can be capable of such violence. But then I
Right.
saw her perform, and I saw her bash somebody's head in, and I said, "Hey, kid, let's make this happen." She was high fiving the kids, carrying the volleyball, and she just wasn't getting a fair shake. Not because she was afraid to ask, but she was trying to play by the rules. I said, "Let me be the devil on your shoulder. Let's make some money. Let's bash in some skulls, baby." And she was up for it. And she surpassed everything that she thought possible. She's traveling the world. She's killing it. She gets free pink drinks at every Starbucks. It's fantastic.
Yeah, that's kind of an incredible.
She's happy. She doesn't have to control her rage. She doesn't play politics. She just kills it night in and night out. Superior intellect, Division I athleticism. She is one of the greatest ever. I would lay on train tracks for this one. God, I'm so sorry.
And I guess that's why they call her championship caliber, CeCe Young.
Yep.
Yeah, we can give Johnny a moment to collect his thoughts.
I'm good. I think it's the cold weather. Is it always this cold in North Carolina?
Yeah,
This
not
isn't even
typically.
the worst of it. We got some terrible stuff coming up here the next couple of days here.
No, that sounds great. Really glad I came for it. I love you, Johnny Badger! Love you too, baby.
God, everywhere we go, like we can't go nowhere.
Yeah, they keep finding this guy. We've had to reschedule this interview in the past. We
You
tried to do it
know-
at Comic-Con. There's a bit of
Just keep them
security
100
concern.
yards away from
You know people everywhere, or they know you.
They know me. Yeah.
I should change that. They know you.
It happens. You can't be this charismatic, this handsome, this entertaining, and not run afoul of a few people. But in the long run, you actually get fans. I've signed so many autographs since I started at Next Level. It's insane. My hand hurts most of the time. You'd be amazed. I do a big J. I do a big J for Johnny, right? And then I just scribble. And then I do a big B for Badger. And then I just scribble. And these kids, they just stare at it like this is the greatest thing ever. And they should. But yeah, I put little to no effort into it. Whatever. It's fine.
But I mean, you could say that you could argue that you make it all look so effortless, you know. And just for a moment, if I may, just give you the opportunity to kind of put yourself over for a second. What do you think the craziest accomplishments you have done so far in the wrestling space has been? You know, like when you take a look back and you have that pinch yourself moment, you're like, what do you think is like the thing where you're like, wow, I did that already?
Well, I mean, I expect greatness. I don't really have a pinch myself moment because every great thing I've accomplished, I've expected. I mean, I don't really know what to say to that. Winning the Battle Royal at Fayetteville Comic-Con, I mean, that was expected by me. Nobody else. But, hey, look, you might need to put up a wanted poster because I'm constantly killing it. Is that a dial tone I hear? Because this party's off the hook. Killing it, man. Straight up killing it all the time. I don't have pinch myself moments, but I have been pinched. Not bragging, just stating fact.
Wow. No apology needed. I appreciate the honesty there.
Yeah. So let's. Oh, this is so good. This so you. Thank you for being our first guest. This is.
I'm loving this. I'm loving every second of this.
So let's talk about top fives.
Top fives,
because that's everybody's opinion on who they like, who they don't like.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say top 5 breakfast sandwiches.
I mean, we can if you want to do top 5, we can do. Let's do. Okay, that's where I was going, but that's where you want. What is your opinion? The top 5 breakfast sandwiches.
Top 5 breakfast sandwiches. Well, I mean, Biscuitville, right?
I love it.
Hardee's. They have a really good biscuit. Few places in Vegas.
We're talking about
really
places.
good.
I thought you were just talking about the biscuit.
Oh,
itself.
just well, bacon. You know, bacon, egg, cheese.
Yeah.
Sausage, egg, cheese. Spam, fried spam. I mean, it's a disgusting hillbilly food, but I like to do that. You know, I can have spam every now and again. I'm in peak physical condition, so the salt's not good for me. Sodium and being what it is. How do I look, by the way?
Oh, you look fantastic.
5 days a week at the gym.
Yeah.
Get the tan in bed every now and again. But hey, whatever. Yeah.
Love the black and gold.
Corned beef hash. That's another good one.
That's a classic.
Try to stay away
for sure.
from it.
Yeah. But no, in all seriousness, though, the top 5. Since you're a manager, so we're going to do what is your top 5 all-time managers?
Ooh. Well, we'll say Paul Heyman. Jim Cornette. Oh, Jimmy Cornette.
Yeah,
Fantastic.
can't beat it.
Bobby the Brain Heenan. We'll say Mouth of the South, Jimmy Hart. And number 5, a guy that doesn't really get a lot of love and should, Gary Hart. If you guys aren't familiar with Gary Hart, check him out. He's fantastic.
Oh, yeah.
He's a legend.
Back from the 80s, Gary Hart, he had the Great Muta. He had the Great Muta under him at one time back in the 80s. The Pearl of the Orient.
Actually, could I have said me in the top 5?
You could have.
Okay, well, all 5 would be me. I guess it's
all 5.
I do apologize. I didn't even know that was
So let me get number 1, Johnny Badger. Number 2 is number 3,
James Cornette.
Okay. Number 4,
Johnny Badger.
And
wait, what did I say for number 3?
Number 3, Jim Cornette.
No, that's Johnny Badger.
Oh,
yes.
And so,
5.
And number 5 was.
I'm gonna have to say Johnny Badger. 5 is Johnny Badger.
Well, that's
clean sweep.
I mean, it's a respectable list. I mean, honestly, not dissimilar from the Fayetteville Comic-Con Battle Royal. And with that, I mean,
undefeated Battle Royals.
So there is one more thing that I do want to mention. I want to give you a congratulations, sir, because this year for 2024, you were in the nominations for Manager of the Year. So we want to give you the congratulations. You had some big time names in there, like Arn Anderson was in there. So, I mean, just to be nominated in that category has to be something.
Well,
honorable here in
They
North
had to
Carolina.
nominate me to get a few eyes on the thing so they could give it to some schlub. Whatever, man. Look, I don't need to be told I'm great. I know I'm great. And any company I work in, lucky to have me. Whoever wins, Godspeed, God bless. But just know, when it comes to management, Johnny Badger's the top of that food pyramid, baby. The top. So they can give it to whoever they want. Does not matter to me nonetheless. I'm going to keep killing it. Wanted poster, killing it. Wanted for murder, because I'm killing it. All the time. 24/7. 8 days a week. Jet plane runways, statues, fame. I'm not kidding, man. I'll dance in my underpants. I'm going to run for government, and I'm going to form a covers band and all. Does not see, you fired me up. You fired me up.
Yeah.
I tried to say, you know what? You guys are great. I'm sorry.
Thank
Get a
you.
little, Get a little antsy.
Yeah, the journalist in me couldn't help but sense a bit of an undertone when speaking on the awards there. Do you have any sort of opinion on how that whole process is handled?
Oh, here we go.
Next question.
You got it.
I'm going to be the bigger man.
Yes. So, what do you have planned? We probably talked about this for upcoming 2025. Do you have your eye on anybody else that you bringing into your circle?
Look, I would love to share all of that, but I think, as any good poker player would tell you, don't show your cards. I want it to be a surprise. I want to shock people, shock the world, baby. But I have my eyes on quite a few people. And again, all they have to do is surrender their humanity, surrender their decency, and let me be the devil on their shoulder. Not a big deal. Hey, look, kindness is a virtue, but I don't have time for kindness. I want money. I want fame. I want glory. And I want to work with people that want the same thing. I'll manage you if you want.
Oh,
Ooh, no announcers have managers.
I'm gonna say I've never seen a ring announcer have a manager.
I've seen how you dress. I like it.
Hey,
I
thank
like
you
your
very
style.
much. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a pretty big
We should
opportunity.
go to a buffet together or something, man.
We would kill it.
We can drink in the parking lot.
Hey, I'm down for it.
Yeah.
What are we drinking? Like sweet tea,
What?
lemonade, or
Yeah. Wink. Yep.
yeah,
Some strawberry milk, maybe. I
yeah,
don't know.
strawberry milk. I like it.
Gatorade. Sunny D. I don't know. Whatever you want. It's on me.
And it's on him. Like, wow, he's going above and beyond, ain't he?
Yeah, I mean, at that point, I think you got to take it up on a tree. I don't know.
The fun never ends with me.
I love it. So, Johnny, you have social media. You want to plug your social media and let anybody know that are fans of Johnny Badger and how they can reach you and find you?
Follow me on Facebook. Type in Johnny Badger. That's stubby fingers. Then send a like my way. Follow me. I'm full of good life tips. I've always thought about branching out into maybe being a life coach. Facebook. I'm probably going to be on Instagram very soon. I just don't have a lot of time on my hands, unfortunately. Or maybe fortunately, actually. I don't do well when I'm bored. I get angry pretty easily. But right now, my focus is to get Miss CeCe Young to the top of the mountain, because she deserves to be there. I mean, this company's never given her a fair shake, sticking her in triple threats and 8-mans and God only knows what else, surprising her with opponents. They know what's going on. Look, man, the day we started together, they're throwing her in triple threats. They're throwing her in multi-mans. They're throwing her in mixed tags. They know what's going on. Her greatness can't be contained. We know it. You know it, right? You've seen her.
Yeah.
Whatever. I'm not getting worked up again. I'm sorry.
It's okay, John. It's okay.
Long plane ride.
Well, I mean, I think with that, thank you so much. I mean, this is an incredible opportunity for
Pleasure's all
obviously
yours.
our podcast, having Johnny Badger be the episode 1, had to bring it in.
I want to wish you guys the best of luck with this.
Thank
This is
you very much.
fantastic.
We appreciate that so much.
I mean, great selection on the first guest. Again, I mean, you guys really, really nailed it. Oh, man, you guys just killed it. That's fantastic. But yeah, it's been my pleasure to be here, actually. You guys are very cool to be around, and we had a good time. We learned a little bit about each other. right?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah,
We're better on the other side of it.
a lot of layers to Johnny
Friendship.
Badger there.
Fellowship.
Hello, ship.
Yep.
Gotta love it.
Absolutely, yeah.
Cool.
Well, did you
Thanks
get
for having
any residuals or comic stuff for winning Comic-Con there?
I got the glory of winning the Battle Royal and staring at a bunch of beady-eyed idiots, telling them they didn't expect me to win. And I got to look them right in their stupid, unremarkable faces and say, hey, I won this thing. I'm going to raise my hand high. Look how handsome I am. God bless America.
God bless America.
And God bless the Carolina Wrestling Podcast.
And God bless Johnny Badger.
Come check out Next Level, 2-6 Wrestling Academy. Let's have some fun. Let's make 2025 the best. Why wouldn't we do that?
I agree. Yeah, let's do that.
Best of luck to you guys.
Thank you very
so
much. So, ladies and gentlemen, before we go, just want to let you know one more time. January 25th, Fayetteville, North Carolina, 71st High School. Bell time will be at 7:30. I want to make sure that we see you there. Also, check us out on all of our social media. You can find us on YouTube, on Facebook, Instagram as well, and we are on X as well. Just look up at Carolina Wrestling Podcast. My name is that guy, Trey Morgan. My co-host, Chance Jenkins. Thank y'all very much for checking us out. We'll see you on the next show.